All right, go ahead.
So
Yeah, yeah, go. I hear
we're
you.
live.
Yep.
We're live and we're having audio issues. So please tell me if you can't hear me or you're not getting my audio because apparently my co-host cannot hear
I can
me.
hear you now. I can hear you now.
Oh, now you can hear me.
Yeah, yeah. I can hear you
So
now.
so what was the
It,
deal?
it could have been my headset because when I unplugged it, I plugged it back in. I went out and I came back in, and then I heard you fine.
Yeah, because all my settings are what the settings are
Yeah,
usually are, which is weird.
yeah. Right.
So we do
But we're
apologize for the
here.
delay, but we're here,
Mhm.
and we said we'd be here tonight. We thought it would be a little bit earlier, but as we know, whenever we go to the movies, we get 20 minutes of previews every time we go, and we, sure enough,
Every time.
for an hour and 7 minute film, we still had one. We still had 15 minutes worth of previews, which or
I
more,
didn't
which is
think
like
they
a
were gonna
quarter of
do
the
it for
movie.
this. I didn't think it
Not
was
for
gonna do it for
this.
this.
Come
Right.
on. For the 25 minutes of previews is a quarter of this whole film. Come on.
Right. Right.
So, hi
Anyways,
everybody. Good evening. Hi Thomas, and we're fresh on the heels of
Andy.
seeing the theatrical cinema release for the first time in 50 years of One Hand Clapping. And brother, what'd you think?
It was as Paul would say during the Broad Street's promotional tour. It was a good night out.
Certainly
It was a
was.
very I would say we the movie theater here, the Michigan-based movie theater called MGR. Um, no poster up for everybody was taking pictures by the poster. No poster
Yeah.
for me in my movie theater. Very disappointed with that. And I would say I wish they just had the volume up a little bit more. I don't know if you felt the volume
Yeah,
was a little low.
yeah, and James Boyce had messaged me earlier today. He lives in the UK and he saw it,
Right,
obviously UK
right,
time, and he said video's the video, but he thought it would have been a little louder. Having seen it
right,
myself, I agree. I was expecting a more powerful
right.
sound, like a
Yes,
surround sound
right.
live. It was a little quiet. It was a little, but it was great. It was
Yes,
just, it was not as loud and as powerful as I thought it would
right.
be.
Right. But let's start at the beginning. Okay, we got a nice little intro from Paulie. It was
Yep.
nice to hear him reflect. It was nice to hear him reflect about this period of
Yeah.
Wings. It was nice to hear him say some nice stuff about Jeff Britton. That
Yes.
he was a good rock and roll drummer. Obviously he gave tribute to Denny, Linda, and Jimmy in that little introduction, and I was really happy with that.
Agreed. And it wasn't a standard 30-second intro. It was a nice
Right.
3 minute intro piece where he referenced everybody in Wings with Denny and Jeff and Linda, which was really
Right.
nice. And to see it wasn't like a little, just a quick thing. So, we're getting used to these things now and then. Had a little bit of a 30-second drop with
Right.
Paul and One Hand Clapping. We got the same thing. And we knew going in that we knew that this was not going to be an improved
Mhm.
video. We just knew it
Right.
because it was shot on pneumatic
But
tape.
yes, however, I don't know if it has to do with audio or video, but if you look at the 2024 credits, you do see Wingnut in the credits, which is Peter
Peter
Jackson's
Jackson's company, yes, down there in New
company,
Zealand.
right?
Yep.
Yes,
So
yeah,
there were parts where certain parts of it were a little more restored than others. Um, Most of the musical performances we've all seen. We've seen them
right,
all already. Um,
right,
what my biggest takeaway from the film, other than the music, which was great, and seeing Paul on a big screen, was the in between stuff, the talking. That
yes,
that was new.
right,
That was the new stuff. That was the best bits of the documentary that we as hardcore fans had not been privy to hear the other members of the band talking,
right.
underneath the documentary. To a point, sometimes it was a little too much. I wish, like, during maybe I'm amazed we could have just heard the whole song, because
Right.
that's a rocking version.
Well, yeah, it is, but I mean, the first two songs play, Jet, Soily, and then when it gets into Sea Moon and Little Woman Look, that's when you start getting the narration,
Mm-hmm.
um, you know, through particular songs. And yeah, and it was kind of cool. And then you got the chatter in between songs. You saw where they're telling Jeff that he came in a little too early or too late or whatever it was.
Yeah.
That was kind of funny. And then seeing him in his whole karate
The
kid
gi.
wardrobe, that
The
was
gi. Yeah. He was like the star. Other than Paul, he was like the star of the show of this film.
could
He
have
got a lot
been,
of screen
could
time.
have been,
I mean, he got a lot of screen time in
yeah.
this film, more so than Jimmy McCulloch, I thought.
Yeah, possibly,
I,
possibly.
I think.
I did like all their sound bites. I did like when, I like there was one part where when Denny was talking and he was talking about how he understood where Paul was coming from, where you got all the success and then you got to
Yep.
start all over again, and then that was really cool because Denny did have a lot of success or some success in the early Moody Blues days and then it's
Well,
gone.
just in that first incarnation,
Yeah,
but yeah. Um,
right.
I will say too, a minor quibble here is that sometimes, and this is just due to the accents and the age, like it was really
Oh
tough to
yeah,
understand Denny speaking sometimes, and not so much. Jimmy
yeah,
McCulloch is a Scotsman. He was kind of, but
yeah,
Denny, I don't know if he was under the influence or whatever, but Denny's words sometimes was like, what's he saying
yeah.
there? Just a little
Right,
hard to
little
make out
tough.
exactly. You agree?
Yeah, I totally agree. A little
Yeah,
for Jeff, I think, as well.
a
But
little bit.
definitely Linda and Paul came through the clearest. But Jimmy was easy to understand a little bit too. You know, and I liked how he's talking about how he wants to build something or create something that he could be proud of.
He
And
wants to make a rocking
I would
album with Paul.
right, right, and he accomplished that
Yeah.
absolutely. But we should talk about too that something that wasn't on the CD that was in
Ah, here we go. Here we go. Here we go. Here we
but
go.
but listen, we should mention first if you're not familiar, okay, if you got the CD set, the two CD set, the two LP set, the first CD is the one hand clapping. Okay, that is pretty much what
Standard.
you get on the first. Yeah, that is, what you get on the first CD of one hand clapping is one hand clapping. The second disc is not included. None of those songs that's on the second disc you'll see
In
in
the
one
film.
hand clapping.
No.
Correct.
No.
Correct.
This is just the one everything on the first disc pretty much. Let's Love, I'll Give You a
Right.
Ring, all that other good
Right.
stuff.
Right.
Uncle Paul's
Yes.
Beatles and Pop Playhouse. Welcome. I don't
Mm.
think we've seen you on the channel before. He
Right.
saw it in Paramus, New Jersey, not too far from me, with
Nice.
longtime friends Mark and Carol Lapidus. Very nice.
Yeah.
Thanks for joining
Very
us here
cool.
today. And if you're not,
Yes.
if you know, don't subscribe, please do because we talk Paul all the time and some Beatles. So thanks for being here. Um,
Absolutely. Absolutely. So yeah, getting back to the one track that's in the documentary, that's in the
huh,
film, that's not in the CD, and that's Suicide. And again, it's not my favorite track, but it is cool to see it in the context of the film.
absolutely, because
Wouldn't you agree?
it's such a
Mm,
bit. I would agree because
yeah.
it's such a part of this history of one hand clapping. That's a oft bootleg track. It's a much talked about track that is
Mm,
associated with this era. So when the
right.
CD officially comes out, to not have Suicide on it, you're like, I know it's a schmaltzy song, but we should just have it to have it.
Right.
And
Yeah. And then
I'm watching it in
go
the
ahead.
movie theater, and I hear they're gonna show Suicide. They're gonna show
Right.
Suicide, and we didn't get it on the damn CD. Come on,
Right. However, yeah, just saw it play in a pack. That's awesome. So
pack
how was your
theater.
theater? Was it? How was your theater
Well, no.
experience?
My theater had about, I would say, a good 50, 60 people in it. You
Oh
know,
wow.
a good 50,
Right.
60 people in it. How about your theater?
30 maybe, 30 tops.
30 tops. Okay. Did you
Yep,
have nice
yep.
reclining chairs?
Oh yes, absolutely. Big cushy reclining chairs. But there during that whole that those the suicide, the piano stuff, it's great to see that. And
Yeah,
him
on the big
talking
screen.
about it, once he gets like to 25 or 35 or whatever, and it's old, or it's just, I like that kind of thing. Um, but yeah, that part was really cool. They do a shortened My Love, right? They did do a shortened Bluebird.
Yeah, well, not
That
full
wasn't the
versions.
whole.
No.
Yeah, it wasn't the full versions of that either. But everything
Nice.
else
I
was
tell you
there.
what, another nice moment here is seeing Howie Casey getting some screen time in the documentary,
Yes,
working out
yes,
the sax bits of Bluebird, and hear Pauling
right.
vocalize what notes to play. G7 A minor. I
But
like that bit.
the question I have about that is, he had already done it, right? He had already done that for the band and for band, the previous year. So I'm
Well,
curious if that, why does he need to be reminded of what it is?
Well, this is August of 74, right? And
Right,
much of that work was done the year prior. So,
right,
it's not like it was fresh in his mind. Howie Casey was a session musician and working. So,
right.
he was a working guy, having to revisit a song. They weren't touring at that point. He wasn't part of the brass section of,
True,
I'm
true,
sure by that
true.
point he knew it by
Right,
heart. But, you record your track and then you file it and it's done. So I'm not surprised that he needed a little bit of a refresher on how to do it, considering it by August
right.
of '74, the most of that music was already recorded, was already in the can for a year. So
Hmm.
having Howie Casey get some screen time was a real nice bonus. And I must say, another nice bonus was seeing "Live and Let Die" in its
Yes,
entirety. The
yes,
"Live and Let
yes.
Die" portion of this is great because we've seen snippets, but to see it in full,
Mm,
in EMI, and I'm a purist, I know it's Abbey Road, but in EMI
hmm.
with the full band there, you have shades of A Day in the Life sessions coming back again, right, with the full orchestra,
Right,
and that was funny because they were showing close-ups of the musicians, and when they weren't playing, they were sleeping, or they were reading a magazine, or they
right,
were eating. That was an interesting, choice of direction there by David Litchfield to showcase the
right.
musicians that were not playing during Live and Let Die. I thought that was a little funny, comical point. Yeah.
Hmm.
Live and Let Die was a highlight. I agree there with
Oh,
our
yeah,
correspondent on the scene, who will be
yeah.
going to Montevideo very soon for the first tour of the newest leg of the Got Back, and we will have her on at some point for some recap of the first show. So stay tuned to that. But yeah, Live and Let Die. Would
I
you agree
can't
with?
wait.
Was that one of your favorite parts of the documentary, Tom?
Absolutely, like you said, to see the musicians there, set up, the room size, once you get everybody in there and how packed it is. Yeah, it was fantastic. And you had the one guy playing around with his glasses, having the nose part up his nose. I don't know if you remember seeing that part or not,
Yeah.
but yeah, it was really cool. Yeah, that was really cool just to see you're getting the behind the scenes aspect of a recording session or a live recording session, which is fantastic. And we've seen bits like that before. We saw, like you said, in the why am I in the Sergeant Pepper, where Paul is
Yeah.
conducting
You see it. It was shades of
a day
that all over again.
a day in the life. Yeah, right.
One thing that I
Yeah,
got a new appreciation for seeing it on the big screen, which we've always, because we've had it, you've got it on the Band on Archive,
yeah,
you've seen it. Is Paul doing 1985 towards the end when he's not playing him, he's not
yes,
playing piano, he's
right,
just standing there holding the mic with a cig in hand,
right,
and he's just letting loose
yes,
on the vocalizations, going crazy. Close up of his face, doing the yeah, 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 like that
yeah,
stuff. Give me more of that. The best.
yes, yeah. No,
That was
that's
great.
fantastic. That was fantastic. And then, when you're seeing Babyface, you're kind of going, okay, they're going to show all of the instrumentation that they did in '75 in New Orleans, and then yes, they did, because then at the end you saw the copyright of 1975. So yeah,
Yeah.
it was yeah.
Yeah.
So
Well,
absolutely,
we know that's just
yeah,
he's just singing to he's
right,
singing to the backing track of the release version. We know
yeah,
that. We're aware of
yeah,
that.
yeah.
Yeah, you're right there,
Well,
the
the
partner, but
first half,
not
but the
the
first half
second
is
half.
Tim.
The first
Yeah, the
half is him.
second half, then right. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
But yeah, you Tom, just cycle back again when you were talking about the credits there at the end with 1975.
Well, 1985. What are you
No, yeah,
talking
but
about?
at the end,
No, 1975. Yeah, in the credit. Yeah, yeah. At the end, the copyright says 1975.
right.
Yes. Yeah.
Um,
So that means that because as we learned with when we had Adrian Sinclair on, is that they were still working on this special as late of 1975 when they add the orchestration or the band, the New Orleans style band playing at the end of Babyface,
right, right. And then, yeah, Babyface comes in and he says, don't go anywhere. And we have the backyard stuff.
which was
76
different
copy.
as well.
Yes, it was. Yes, it
Yes.
was. Yeah, that was nice. That was nice. And the most of us have seen the backyard in full, or at least heard it on bootleg. Had you ever seen the
Right.
backyard from start to finish before tonight?
Just just the clip of Blackpool that was on the McCartney DVD,
Years.
McCartney years, yeah,
Yeah,
McCartney years
Peggy
DVD.
Sue
So
and
Peggy Sue,
20
but
Flight Rock.
the 20 Flight Rock, but the surprise was Sweet Little 16,
Yeah.
which is not on the exclusive 7-inch 45 that you got in with the one hand clapping 2 LP
No.
set. And then you didn't get in the video. You didn't get Heart of the Country and Sally G.
No, but you
So
got that on. So here we go. Here we go
yes,
again with like a
yeah,
quasi official, but not really truly complete. And I know Adrian Sinclair would agree
right,
with us because we messaged him
mm,
about this, and he, it's a modern Frankenstein edit version of one hand clapping, with whichever way you
right,
look at it. I mean, we got the film released. And I'm glad it's only got a 4-day run. It's only going to be in cinemas from Thursday,
right.
Friday, Saturday, Sunday, 4 days.
Saturday,
That's it.
Sunday, right.
Um,
Yep,
he does. Yeah, he does. Yeah, he plays the backyard tunes. Yeah, those are staples, right? You hear those. You still hear those at sound checks. You do. But that was nice. That was
which
a
is
nice little
fantastic.
bonus there. Some people
Right.
actually left and got once the movie ended. They didn't even stay for the backyard bit.
Are you serious?
They
Nobody
did. Yeah,
left
there was a
when.
couple people next to us that
Wow.
got up and left. Yeah.
Shame on them.
Yeah. But that was a nice little bonus treat in there to actually see that it was a
Mm.
film. It's unto itself. Um,
Right, right.
yeah, MVP is going to see it again
Great.
Sunday. We're going again Sunday with a
Yep.
whole bunch of people
Mm.
to see it.
Yep.
Day
Kyle's
Tripper.
gonna love it. Yeah,
Kyle will love it. Susan and Jim Ryan
mm,
will love it. It'll be great.
yeah.
Hello, Day Tripper. Let me go back. I might have missed. We might have missed it. I'm sorry. We're catching up here.
Yeah. We weren't
Uh,
highlighting the early comments, unfortunately. Sorry about that.
Sorry, we missed those, but
Yeah.
everybody's here. Laura, James Martini, Mike,
Yeah.
Kit, Joan, MVP. I just want to make sure we get everybody here.
Yeah.
I'm trying to see I'm trying to see what your first comment was, so I go back and miss it here. And I have the Giants on the other screen here, so they're on too, and they're losing. Surprise, surprise.
Oh, the
Um,
Giants are playing tonight.
Thursday night football, yeah.
Ah.
Day trip. I don't see your comment. The first comment I see by you is the only thing you really liked about the bootleg CD is that you get 2 takes of 3 songs. Yeah,
Hmm.
you do. He's talking about the one hand clapping bootleg. Yes, I would agree with that.
Okay. Okay.
Tony, is it true this film got rejected by the BBC?
Yes. Yes. Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. And that'll be in volume 2 of the McCartney Legacy.
Mm-hmm.
Yes. Yes. As a matter of fact, when we had Adrian Sinclair on, he talked about that.
Yep. Susan's going as
Hmm.
well. Very cool.
Yeah.
Thank you. Thanks, James.
Yeah.
So I hear "Let It Be" and "Lady
Right.
Madonna." No, they're not in it. As Tom
Right.
mentioned at the start of the show, all the songs on the
Yeah.
second disc of One Hand Clapping are not in the film. No,
Right.
they are not.
Right.
You're not getting Long and Winding Road. It's the first disc only.
Right.
Would have been nice to have "Hi Hi Hi" included there, though. Wouldn't it? That would have been nice.
Absolutely. Oh, absolutely.
We'll
Absolutely.
go now. But
Yeah,
hey,
and Junior's Farm. Junior's Farm would
That's-
have been nice.
that is surprising that Junior's Farm is such associated with this period, but we didn't get that included in the film, which is interesting.
Exactly. Exactly.
Which is fun. Listen, it was great to see Paul at that time,
No.
aged 30. He was all of 32 in 1974. He's a 32-year-old guy who's just really,
Old man.
yeah, an older guy then coming up, and he's 32 in the prime of his life.
Right.
Queen is going on Sunday with Karen Duhai and Tina Kukla, friends from the Chicago Fest. Very cool.
Yes.
The girls' night out. The girls are taking on One hand clapping. There's a power trio if there ever
Yeah.
were. Don't mess with
Easy
them.
on that. Yeah, easy on that rum punch Sunday night there, Queen. I know that.
Yes, we did. We both respectively went to local cinemas to see it.
Yes.
Tom near me and me in New Jersey. We did. Um,
Yes.
yes, it was Joan. You're right. Perfect. Especially, I loved his hair the best during the piano bits.
That, yeah, yeah, that was
During the
great.
piano
Yeah.
bits, he had the perfect whole
Yeah.
poof thing going. It was perfectly just perfect. It was. It
And his
was.
hair was perfect. Ow.
Jet was awesome. Man, Joan, we are just so insimpatico with Joan. She gets it. Yeah, she gets it. I love it. I love it. Let me go back to see here. Let's see here. Joan's happy that he played. Yeah, we talked about that. Go back. Make sure we're here. Susan, Tony, he gave an interview that he left off kill from I think McGear because of the current climate. Maybe that's is Susan talking about suicide. I'm not sure.
Mm.
I'm not sure. I know you were. I'm sure she was. Suicide is in it. Yes.
Yes,
Suicide's in
absolutely.
it. That was for some reason taken off the archive edition in the Band on the Run box set. How would you rate the video quality compared to the 2010 release? Same.
Okay. Maybe slightly better.
Maybe slightly
Maybe
better.
You see now you do have there is a version on YouTube on it, and then this is better than what you see on YouTube, in my opinion. In my opinion.
What we saw today. No, yeah, this is going to
Yeah.
be if this is the best it could be, then this is the best it's going to be. Listen, Peter Jackson
And you
had
know
it,
what?
okay? So
Yeah, yeah.
if
And you know
Peter
what?
Jackson did his best.
It wouldn't hurt my feelings if this got a Blu-ray release. I would buy it. Absolutely buy it.
Right. Maybe it's a digital only thing. Who knows? I mean, Paul hasn't released a DVD properly in some time.
Since Rock Show.
Since Rock Show. Right. Right? Live Kisses, which was right around the same time. You haven't had a good, there hasn't been a chance. I mean, you had the DVDs included in the archive sets. You had,
Yeah.
the Bruce McMouse show and things like that included in archive sets, but you haven't had a standalone
Right.
proper
Standalone. Right.
a video release in a long, long time.
Yeah.
And it would,
Yeah.
I mean, I know the video quality is the video quality, but we have the awesome soundtrack with the awesome audio, and now you have a video, you have a documentary that was just meant to capture a new band coming together.
Yes.
Really, those two guys had just joined, and this was really kind of a litmus test for Paul to see how this band could gel. Really, with the thoughts of maybe taking it, to the next level. Obviously, that didn't happen because Jeff Britton exited by February of '75 after just a couple of sessions into Venus and Mars, into New Orleans, and it was gone. So
Correct.
I am happy that he
Correct.
did get to see the film. I don't know if you're friends of Dan Ely on Facebook, who is like the czar of all things Junior Farm. He went to go. He posted a picture of Jeff Britton going to see the documentary today. So I'm really happy that Jeff got a chance to see himself on the big screen, and 50 years later, which is pretty cool.
Absolutely, absolutely. So Tony's comment here. So suicide is controversial, but not Blackpool, which all about sex. It's not about sex. It is about female. It's about the measurements, really. So I wouldn't say that it's necessarily about sex, but he does like them heavy and he does like them tall. But I would say it's more about because Blackpool is a beach resort. So
It is.
he's just singing about women's measurements, really.
It is. Yeah, as we said, Susan, the video quality is pretty much the same, a little bit cleaned up, but grainy. I'm not going to lie, it's grainy at times, but you can overlook all that because it's Paul, and it sounds good. Video quality, my only true complaint, I wish it was just a little bit louder. I wish that music was pumping in that
Yes.
theater.
Absolutely. That's my only
Real,
gripe. That's my only gripe. Is I wish they played it a little louder. Absolutely.
just a little bit. I was, and
Yeah.
I'm going to see it again on Sunday in a cinema in New York. Maybe that'll be a little bit different listening experience. We'll see.
Yeah. Yeah, I'd be interested to hear if they play that a little louder.
We'll see. Are you going to plan to
Yeah.
go again?
No, no.
Okay.
Once for me. But it was fine. Absolutely. Like I said, if he really chooses to release this on a physical media format, I am all in.
Yeah, it's going to be. There's not going to mean he'll release it in Blu-ray or whatever, but it's just
Mm.
going to be a straight to disc thing. There's not going to be any up. There's not going to be any
Right.
upscaling done, which
Oh,
is what
right,
they do.
right.
Um, doesn't that song "I'm a Girl Watcher" also cite a woman's measurements in one line? Probably.
I'm a girl watcher.
Probably, but yeah, it was nice. It's got a, keep your eyes peeled. Hopefully, when you guys go to see it, you see the poster in the theater that the nice black one. I was really hoping to see that
Mhm.
today. What Tom and I were going to hope to do is take two pictures near it and we would post it.
Right,
But if you
right,
end up having a poster in your local theater / cinema, post it on Facebook and let us see it.
right.
Because
So you
that's
guys did have a poster then. You guys did
no,
have a poster.
we
You
did
didn't have
not.
a poster either. Oh,
No, no. No, I would have sent you the photo. No, with no poster. I'm
unbelievable.
hoping in New York there'll
Unbelievable.
be one. Maybe because
Yeah,
it's a New York release.
right.
So, yeah, yeah. We were at an AMC as
Yeah,
well too. Joan had
yeah.
no poster. Yeah,
No
no poster.
poster. Yeah.
Who did? Who have you seen that actually? Did Joe get a? Did Joe see it with a poster? Or?
Joe's seeing it. I think tomorrow. He's seeing it tomorrow. I saw a few people that had posters. I'm just losing
All right.
who it was right now. But yeah,
All
there was a
good.
few people I saw pictures with posters. So yeah.
Well, listen.
Oh well.
That's our. Yeah. Hopefully, Kit maybe sees one in her neck of the woods there on Sunday.
Yep.
That's our quick kind of instant take on one hand clapping. I think it's as good as we thought it would be. To see Paul on the big screen is a wonderful night out, as Tom said at the start of the show.
Yeah.
It's a good night out, right? Just like
It's a
with
good
Broad
night
Street,
out.
it's a great night out. And some people were like,
Right.
"Well, I'm not paying $20 to see that video quality." Hey, it's a night out to see Paul on the screen, to see a documentary that was recorded, filmed, and produced and shelved. And
Right.
50 years later, here it is, and we got a chance to see it
There it
and
is.
witness something that we, as diehard Paul fans, can appreciate and love and enjoy. And I think we all did.
Absolutely, absolutely. Real quick before we sign off,
Ah,
did you get
you
her?
got that. Yep.
Yep, yep. Got it in the mail from Amazon yesterday.
There you go.
Oh no, I'm sorry, Tuesday. Tuesday I got it. Yeah. And
So
you
you
got
the
it as well,
Thames,
right?
the
Yeah.
well,
Yeah.
it came with the cube, babe. I catch up. I got
Oh,
it in
that's right. You
I
didn't.
got
That's
it in
right.
July.
That's right. It came in the cube. You came
I,
in the cube. That's right. I had to catch up. Right.
I got that thing in the cube in July, and already
Yeah.
I believe I got through
Yeah.
that thing in the
Yeah.
summer. Nice book.
Right.
Uh,
It
I
looks
got a
like
little.
there might be some repetitiveness from the book that's in the box
There
set.
is
So
some, but that book has the
yeah.
tremendous layout of the Dakota, which is so cool, which you'll see
Right.
there
Well,
towards the
yeah.
end.
Yeah. I'm
Another
looking
little quick,
forward to deep digging into that. Yeah. Go ahead.
another book I got just in the mail yesterday, courtesy of Janet Davis, who recommended it, and I can't is the I think it's the first issue of this year's magazine, which is the Now and
Oh,
Then
very cool.
2023 timeline
Right.
with a fantastic
Right.
section just dedicated to Now and Then. Janet, thank you so much for recommending this. I've got 3 or 4 of these now. These are just the standard go-to McCartney fanzines, man. A little bit pricey to ship, but not that expensive, like $14 to buy it, but it's like 10 to ship to America, so it's a lot. But full color, and it never disappoints. And the Now and Then section is just tremendous. I see Joan got it as well. So highly recommended. It's magazine. It's printed in the Netherlands. Look it up if you don't. This is such a great issue. Fantastic.
Excellent.
So
So if you're going to see it, if you did, in the comment section once this is over, let us know your thoughts. And if you're watching this on Saturday or Sunday, let us know what your thoughts were if you saw it over the weekend. And that's our quick review of this. Andy, anything else you want to add before we sign off?
Not much. John Anderson was superb on Sunday night at the Wellmont Theater with the
Ah,
Band Geeks,
yes,
which was going to be a great week. Ringo ended up canceling on Wednesday, which we had tickets for, which was a big bummer because we were going to go see him, and Ringo canceled on Wednesday, which kind of stunk.
yes, yeah,
That was a little bit of a bummer, but other than that, we will have our next show posted Saturday night, which will be
yes.
episode 260, and that will close out September 1st. So look for that sometime on Saturday evening.
Yes, I'm really looking forward to that episode. Actually, I'm gonna be messaging you and our special guest a few things about that here tonight or tomorrow. So really looking forward to doing that episode, and hopefully you guys will enjoy it. Mm.
Absolutely. All right, everybody. So for Tom, I'm Andy. One Hand Clapping. It's in cinemas and theaters till Sunday. Try to go see it. It's not going to be out again
Yeah.
after that. So go check it out. Have a great night. Go Paul. Go Giants. Peace and love.